Hello everyone, my name is Raja Ramesh. Welcome to this SQL tutorial series. In this video, we will cover the most fundamental SQL statement, the select statement. This is the foundation of all SQL queries, allowing you to retrieve data from a database. Whether you are new to SQL or just need a refresher, this is the perfect starting point. Let us dive in. What is the select statement? In any database like SQL Server, the select statement is used to fetch the data from a table. If you don't know, table is a collection of rows and columns. That's simple. So it contains some data in the form of rows and columns. So select statement is used to read the data from such tables. It is the most commonly used SQL command. If you observe, I am using the term SQL and SQL interchangeably. Yes, you can use either SQL or SQL when you are talking about SQL. Coming back to select statement. Let us see the basic syntax of select statement. It looks like select column 1, comma, column 2 from table name. By writing this statement, we are asking to get column 1 and column 2 data from the table name. So we are retrieving data from specific columns in a table. What if table has more columns and you want to retrieve all the columns? In that case, instead of mentioning column 1, column 2 like that, you can simply mention star. So select star from table name. It will get data from all columns and all rows from the table. Now let us see this in action. If you don't have any database to practice on, don't worry. You can get sample database online. Open your web browser and go to sql-practice.com. This provides you a sample database using which you can practice SQL queries. This is the website, and this is the area where you will be writing SQL queries. And this is the area where you will see the output. If you click on this database, you see the database over here. It has different tables called patients, admissions, doctors, province underscore names. Because we just started with select statement, we will consider patients table for now. If you click on that, you see it has these columns: patient ID, first name, last name, gender, birth date, city, province ID, allergies, height, and weight with these data types. So these are the columns in the patient table. And understand that patients is a table name in which the patient's information is saved. So one record in patient's table, or you can say like one row in patient's table, is the data related to one particular patient, and different properties of a particular patient are saved in columns like ID of the patient, first name of the patient, last name of the patient. So in any given row, you will have all this data if provided. Now we will see writing and executing the simple select statement we learned. Try to recollect the select statement we learned sometime before to retrieve all the columns from patient's table. If you remember the syntax, it is select list of columns or star to get the total columns. I'll write star from table name, which is patients. And here you have run button. If you hit this, you will see the data is populated here. So this is the result of select star from patients. What it is doing is it is fetching the data from patients. So it is fetching all the rows and all the columns. Now this is comments in SQL hyphen hyphen, so that it will not be considered as an executable statement. Now we will write another query to retrieve only selected columns instead of all. Select We try to retrieve first name, comma, last name from table name is patients. If you run this, see, now we got the data from patients table for all patients. Results count matched with earlier. If you didn't observe that earlier, now it is 4530. I will comment out this and I'll run this query and you see the same number of records. So when you write your select query using column names, it retrieved all records but only the given columns. And see, these are the list of columns. And if you include city also in your select query, select first name, comma, last name, comma, city, and if you run it again, you see first name, last name, and city are retrieved. So this is how we filter out the columns. The first query is to get data from patients table, all rows and all columns. And in this query, we are trying to retrieve all rows but only 3 columns, first name, last name, and city. And in the next video, we will see how we filter rows also. Means we don't want to get all 4530 rows from patients table. I want to see the data based on some given condition. Thank you for watching and please don't forget to like and subscribe. Hello everyone, this is Raja Ramesh. Welcome back to our SQL Server tutorial series. In this video, we will learn how to filter data using where clause. If you remember from earlier video, we have seen select query to retrieve data from tables. When you want to display all the columns, you simply use select star from table name. And when you want to retrieve only specific columns, you have written select column 1, comma column 2 from table name. What it does is either it retrieved all the columns or it filtered the column names given. But if you see the result set, it got all the records from that table. Now we want to get only particular records based on some condition we give. In that cases, we can use where clause along with select query. First we will see the syntax of where clause. That will be like this. Select column 1, comma column 2 from table name where and the condition you want. And here we are writing column 1, comma column 2 so that only 2 columns data will be retrieved. But if you want all columns data to be retrieved, then simply select star from table name where condition. This will not be changed. Look at this condition. This is what actually filtering the data from your entire result set. An example of this, you may have students in a classroom and you want to get all the boys. So you can simply add a condition in where clause saying to get only male records. We will see this in action. Open your browser and go to sql-practice.com and first run select star from patients so that all the records from the patients table are retrieved. This is what we have seen in earlier class as well. So now we have 4000 plus records in patients table and all the columns are retrieved. We will try to add a where clause here. I want to get all the patients who are residing in Hamilton city only. I will add a where clause over here where and the condition is city equals to Hamilton. That's all. If you run this, out of 4000 plus records, we get only 1938 records which are matching the given condition which is city equal to Hamilton. And if you see the data, you see all the patients have their city as Hamilton only. This is how we put a condition in where clause. And remember, condition can be defined on any column. It need not be a text column. For example, if I want to get the patient's data whose height is 158 centimeters, then I will write select star from patients where height equals to 158. And if you run this query, see all the patients who are having their height as 158 only retrieved here. And one more thing to note here, the condition always need not be equals condition. That might be any condition which returns true or false. You can specify height greater than 158, height less than 158, height not equals to 158, like that. So if you want to write greater than means it is simple using a greater than symbol, less than is less than symbol, and an exclamation and equal to for mentioning not equal to, like this. And now do one thing, pause your video and write a SQL query to get all patients whose weight is more than 156. I hope you got that. If you didn't get the correct query, let's check with mine. It will be select star from patients where you have to put this where clause height greater than 156. So you will not see 47, 43 or any value which is less than 156 in height column. See, all the records are having more than 156. If you notice, you don't have 156 centimeters record also, because we strictly told to get the value should be more than 156. If you add equal to also, it is greater than or equal to. Now we will see 156 as well. Now pause the video and try another query which gets the data from patients table, and I want all the patients whose weight is less than 100. Pause the video and write the query. Once you are done, you can resume it so that you will check with my query. I hope you got the query. It will be something like select star from patients where weight less than 100. So if you run this query, you see multiple records and the weight is strictly less than 100. You don't see any record which is having 100 or more. This is how we use where clause. And now we will see an operator called AND, which is used in select statement along with where clause. So the operator AND, what it does is, it allows us to filter database on multiple conditions. Let us say in the earlier query, you have written multiple conditions. You asked to get the data from patients table where patients are residing in Hamilton city, and you retrieved patients whose height is greater than 156, like that. Now I want to provide both conditions in the same query. Means the patients should be residing in the city of Hamilton as well as their height should be greater than or equal to 156 as well. For example, if we run the first query, we got multiple records, and instead of 156 I will provide 106, and I will write the condition as weight equal to 106 instead of height greater than 156. So I will copy this. We need to write this new operator called AND. The second criteria, the first criteria is city should match with Hamilton. The second criteria is anything you can mention. Weight equals to 106. So you will get the first record for sure, and any other patient who is having 106, that patient record will be retrieved here. See, we have these many records, these many patients from Hamilton city whose weight is 106. And if you want to add one more condition, you can do that again using AND operator again. Now I want height as 209 only. I will add height equals to 209 and we will run this. See, we got only Elvis record whose city is Hamilton and height is 209 and weight is 106. This is how we write select statements using AND operator in where clause. Now I will run the patient's data again. So we got all the results set. Now pause the video and try to write a SQL query to get the male patient records who are residing in Ajax. So I want male patient records who are residing in Ajax. This is your problem. Now write a select query to get this data. I hope you are seeing the right data with your select query. It should be something like this. Select star from patients, and the clause should be used is where, And the first condition we asked is male patients, means gender should be male, gender equal to M. So this will get all the male records. And the second condition is on city column, city equal to Essex. And now if you select this and if you run this selection, you got 4 records. So from total records in your patient table, we have 4 patients who are matching this criteria, this entire criteria. Those are male as well as their city is Essex. And if you want to filter this out still by adding some condition on allergies. See, I want to know all the male patients who are residing in Essex city and who are having allergies as penicillin. We need to write a query something like this. We just need to add one more and the column on which we are writing the condition is allergies equal to and the value should be penicillin. So if you run this, out of these 4, we should be getting only Henry's record. See? So this is how we use AND in our select queries. Similarly, we have one more operator called OR. So what this does? The OR operator is used when we want data that matches either of multiple conditions. So what AND does? When we write multiple conditions using AND, it looked for the records that matched all of the conditions we gave. That's why in the final query, we got only one record because only this 892 record matched with gender as M as well as the city is as X and the allergies is penicillin. Even one condition is not matched, we did not get that record in the result set. But when you use OR, we get the data that matches either of multiple conditions. If there are 10 conditions, even the record matching single condition, that will be retrieved. So how will be the syntax? That will be like select star or the list of columns from table name patients where condition 1 or condition 2 like this. So we will be replacing these conditions with the original conditions we want. So let us do that. Where I will pick the first condition as the male patients. So gender equal to M. And if we run till here, we will get all the male patients records from the patients table. Along with this, I want to add one more criteria so that I want the record either male patients or any patients those are meeting the second condition. The second condition is allergies equals to penicillin. So in the initial statement where we put gender equal to M condition, we got 2468 records. And now if we run this, we got more records in this. And you can see we get some female records as well. Because even this is not satisfying the first condition, it satisfied the second condition where allergy is equal to penicillin. So we got the records that are matching either gender equal to M or allergy is equal to penicillin. Similarly, you can add more conditions as well. And let us pause the video and try to write a query. I want all the patients who are residing in Hamilton or they are allergic to penicillin. I hope your query giving right results. It should be something like this. Select star from patients where city equal to Hamilton it is what I asked or allergy is equal to penicillin. So the patient who is residing in Hamilton, even if they are not allergic to penicillin, that record will be retrieved. Similarly, even the patient is not residing in Hamilton but they are allergic to penicillin, that record will be retrieved. So don't confuse when to use and when to use or. Simply, when you want your record should match all the conditions provided, then use AND. And when you want data, when any of your conditions is matched, then use OR. And let us see another operator called IN. But before that, let us write another select query with multiple conditions using OR, but the conditions are on same column. You have multiple conditions to be implemented on same column with different values maybe. I have some patients residing in Hamilton and I have some patients residing in Toronto. I want to get all of those. So we will write OR city equal to Toronto. Remember why we did not use and here? Because if we use and over here, it will check the value Hamilton should exist in the city column. At the same time, I mean for the same record, the city value should be Toronto as well, which is not possible. So the requirement is to get the patients from both cities. It doesn't mean the patient is living in the both cities at the same time, which is not possible. So if you run this, you get all the patients either living in Hamilton or in Toronto, or you can add one more condition on the same column where city equal to Delhi. And if you run this, you will get the patients that are residing in Delhi as well. So instead of writing multiple conditions in select statement using OR, we can use an operator called IN, which functions in similar way. Let us see how it will be. Select star from patients where city, instead of equals to and providing or like that, we write in, and we give the list of values that are comma separated cities here. Like this. So if you see, the earlier query returned 2292 records, and this will does the same thing. See, we don't find any difference in the data retrieved. So we use in operator whenever we have multiple conditions on the same column. So why should we use in when we already made the same thing with writing multiple conditions with OR? It improves the readability. It is simple to read, right? Instead of reading a statement where city equal to city 1 or city equal to city 2 or city equal to city 3 like that, it is good to read where city in XYZ like that. Not only readability, but when are using the concept of indexing in databases, it improves the performance as well. So running a query which is using in operator runs faster than the one which is using multiple ORs. So this is about AND, OR and in operators. Now we will negate this. Means we have seen in. Now we see about not in. It is as simple as negating that. For example, you can write the same thing by writing not in here. So what it does is, in earlier query we got the patients who are residing in either of these three cities. Now this result set will be excluded from the total result set. So now we don't see any record with city as Hamilton, Toronto or Delhi. See this. So what not in does, it will negate the ins functionality. And we can combine these operators to create complex queries as well. So till now we wrote select queries using either AND operator or in or not in like that. Based on the requirement, in the same query we use more than one of these operator as well. For example, first I'll see all the data from patients. I want all the patients who are residing in Hamilton or in Toronto and whose weight is greater than 100. So instead of writing multiple or, we prefer in. Select star from patients where city in one is Toronto, second one is Hamilton. So now we used in, and at the same time we will use or as and as well. And weight of the patient should be greater than 100. If you see this, you see the patients who are having city value either Hamilton or Toronto. And if you check the weight column, the patients who have weight more than 100 are retrieved here. And you can write more complex queries also based on your requirement. Your requirement may comes like you have to use more conditions and more conditions, and you need to use proper braces so that your conditions will not be mixed up, which may result in wrong data. This is all about using and, or, in, and not in, and combining these. We will see a new topic in the next video. Thank you for watching, and please don't forget to like and subscribe. Hello everyone, this is Raja Ramesh. Welcome back to our SQL Server tutorial series. Before we go into today's topic, let us see the total data from patients. I just ran select star from patients so that we get all the data from the patients table. We see the data is retrieved in the ascending order on the patient ID column. So if you observe this, we got patient IDs 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, so on, like that. So that is the default sorting we have. Now I have one more requirement. I want my data to be retrieved by applying sorting on different column, whatever I need. For example, I want my data in ascending order on first name. For that, we have a special clause in SQL called order by, using which we can achieve that. So we can use order by clause in our select query and get the data in particular order applied on any column. Let us see the syntax. I'll write the syntax here as a comment. It will be something like select. I am writing star itself to get all the data, all the columns. Select star from whatever the table name you have. I have patient's name, or I just mention as table name, order by column name. Got it? So this is the syntax. Let us see this on our patients table. Now I will write a select statement on patients and I will add order by clause, order by. Let us sort our data based on height column initially. So we can mention height. And if you run this now, you see we got the data in different order. If you see the patient ID column, 1234 ID is retrieved in the beginning, and then 1856, and then 4511. If you see the height column on which we applied order or order by, you see the least number of value in height, that record is retrieved in the first place, and then the records with the next value 26, and then 28, 27, 28, 29, 30, and so on, like that. So similarly, we can apply this order on any other column as well, like varchar fields as well. I mean, height is actually a number column, but we can apply ordering on any column. I will apply that on first name. And if you run this, you got the data from patients table by applying the ascending order on first name. Wait, what? Ascending order? Yes. So we never said that is to be ordered by ascending order, but it retrieved the data in the ascending order. Why? Because the default sorting applied in SQL when we use order by is ascending order itself. That is why we got the data in ascending order, right? What if I want to get the data in descending order? Or before that, what if I want to explicitly mention that as ascending order? So order by first name just include ASC. You will not find any difference between these two because the default sorting applied is already ascending order. And how to sort the data in descending order means you just mention DESE at the end, descending. So if you run this again, you see the first name field. I mean, the data is sorted based on the first name field and in the descending order. Similarly, we can apply the same thing on height as well. Copy that and just add descending at the end and write, execute that. You see the highest value in the beginning. This is how you will apply order by clause in any column in your table. And now we will see what if I want to order my data based on more than one column. Is that possible? Yes, that is possible. For example, in gender field, we have M and F. So I will sort it by gender field in the ascending order initially. Order by gender. So if you see this, you will get some data. So it is sorted based on gender. So all the female records are retrieved in the beginning. And if you see any other column, maybe we will take first name itself. See, we see the data or the first names are not sorted. So we have jumbled first names. So now the first order should be gender, and then in the female records itself, I want all the patients by sorting on first name column in the ascending order. So we can simply write one more column as well here, just comma separated the next column. So now I put select star from patients order by gender comma first name. If you run this, first sort will be applied on gender column, and on that result set, whatever we got till here, till order by gender, on that result set, the second order by will be applied, and the data will be rearranged based on the first name in the ascending order as we have given. Got it? This is how, if you want your data to be sorted on multiple columns, I mean you need to do it on other column again, means you can apply on that again. For example, if you see, you can see the difference when you have some similar data. See these three records have Abhi as the first name, and you see the difference in height, and these are not sorted. 146, 153, 183, 180 is the actual sorting. So I will add height as well. Now you can see that will also be changed. See, this Abbey record is changed, and the height now is 146, 153, 180. Like this, you can add any number of columns, and you can apply sorting on any number of columns based on your requirement. So this is how you use order by clause in SQL. In the next video, we will see some other concept. Thank you for watching, and please don't forget to like and subscribe. Hello everyone, this is Raja Ramesh. Welcome back to our SQL Server tutorial series. In this video, we will discuss about between operator, distinct statement, and how we work with null values. First, we will see the between operator. When we actually use between operator, first go to sql-practice.com and select star from patients to get all the records from the patient table. We will see about between operator now. Between is used to get some data between two given values. So start range and end range will be there, and in between those values will be having some data. All the records which are matching those values will be retrieved when we use between. It is used along with the where clause in select statement. We will see the syntax of between statement first. It will be something like select star from your table name and where clause where condition on some column name between start value and end value. So select star from table where column name column 1 values between start value and end value, and remember start value and end value both are inclusive. So the result set includes the values mentioned in start and end values as well. You can use between on number values or text values or date values as well. We will see all the examples over here. First, we will see how to get the data when we use between on a number field. So we will write a query select star from patients itself where we will filter data based on height. Height between 150 centimeter 150 centimeters and 155 I will give. So between 150 and 155. So if you run this query, you got some data, 347 records, and if you see this, you will not see any value which is less than 150 and greater than 156 because we use the between condition like that. It is something like writing the condition in this way: greater than or equal to start value and less than or equal to end value. So between works like this. That is why the data which is having height greater than or equal to 150, you should be getting the records with 150 as well. And you should be getting the records with 155 as well because it is less than or equal to end value. This is how we use between on number columns. And what if you want the records where height that are not between 150 and 155? Yeah, it is as simple as putting a not keyword before between. So if you run this, now as we discussed in earlier classes, whenever we use not, it will just negate the result set. Okay, so it will not include the values which satisfies this condition. So we will get all the values which are less than or equal to start value and greater than or equal to end value. You will not see any value between these two. Okay, that is how we use not between. And we will see between on text columns. When we use between on any text column, the values will be considered based on the alphabetical order provided between the start and end values. So it is something like if we use city between, I'll remove not, and city between Barry and we will take end value as Hamilton. If you run this, you will see the records that are starting from BARRIE, and then the next alphabetical order value will be considered, and the values before and till this Hamilton will be considered. Okay, that is why you got this. You will not see any record which is starting with A like that or after H also. And remember, as I said, this is considered alphabetically. So let us see if we have any values. Yeah, we have Brantford. If we take Brantford, BR. So BA is less than BR. I mean, BA is coming before BR. So the record which is having Barry as city should not be in the result set. Let us see if that is excluded now. I ran this query and see now the record with Barry is disappeared from the result set. Got it? So this is how it works on text columns. If I put not between, simply the result set will be negated. Now we will see the Barry and the records which are having city with greater than Hamilton will be retrieved. Okay, this is how it works on text columns. And we can use between on date columns as well. And that is as simple as getting the data in between two dates. So we will be providing date 1. Oops, sorry. Okay, I just hit on back button. Select star from patients where birth date between, I will take some value from the table and paste it over here, and so mention like this and just change 1 year. Okay, so I am looking for the patient records who are born in between 1963 to 12 to 1964 to 12. So if you see the records, you will see only such data. Okay, and using not is as simple as we discussed earlier. This will negate the result set, and if you run this, you see other records which are not matching this criteria. This is how we use between. And now we will see distinct statement. Why we use distinct statements? For example, if you run a select query, select star from patients, again, you see all the data from patients table. And if you run select gender, so that it will get the data from all records only from only gender column, right? So if you see this, I ran that query MMMMF, all the 4530 patients gender is retrieved. Now I want to know how many distinct genders are there in the patient's table. So I just need to place a keyword before the column name and run the query. Now you will see the distinct values available in that column. I got M and F. Similarly, if I go with other column, select without distinct, I want to know how many first names are there from the patient. First names of all the patients from patients table, which again retrieved 4530 total records. Now if I place distinct keyword before first name, the result set will be decreased if there are any duplicate first names. So it will not retrieve the duplicate values. See, we got 1072. It means we have multiple patients with same first name. That is the place where we use distinct keyword whenever we want unique values from the column data. We don't want to get duplicate values. Then we can go with distinct statement so that it avoids the duplicate values from that column data. Now we will see how we will work with null values. Again, I will run the query select star from patients and see we get all the data here. Okay, so now we have null in allergies. That means we don't have any values. In fact, it is not an empty string also. Okay, so now I want to know data from patients where we don't have any data available for allergies. Okay, so I want to know for which patients we don't have data available for allergies. Okay, in that case, if I place a condition like this where allergies equal to null, you see no records to display, no rows to display, means it is not working. Otherwise, if you try like this also, you will not see any data because null is a special thing. Null means nothing. Okay, so you can't compare null with anything because when we get data to the query means when we use where clause, when the condition return true, then only it returns the data. But if we compare null value with null using any of the operator like equal to or not equal to, greater than or less than, anything, it always returns false. Even null equal to null is also false. That is why we are not getting any data. Then how we will get the records which are having null value? We write that as is null. So if you write the query like this, select star from patients where allergies is null, then you will get the data which are having null values in the allergies column. And similarly, is not null. Okay, will return the data where the allergies has some data in that, at least empty string also. And remember, null is different from empty string. This is different and null is different. Okay, so this will get the data when we compare with equals. But null, if you compare using equal to null, not equal to null, then it will return false and you will not see any data in the result set. These are the three concepts we discussed in this video: between operator and distinct statement and handling null values by is null and is not null. In the next video, we will see few more concepts that we can use in select statement. Thank you for watching and please don't forget to like and subscribe. Hello everyone, welcome back to our SQL Server tutorial series. In this video, we will explore how to find text patterns using the like operator. So we have one operator called like. So we can use that whenever you want to find some text patterns. We have seen using equal to in where condition, which is actually used when we are matching the full text value. And like actually allows us to take the data which matches a particular part of the value as well. Okay, instead of matching exact value with equals, like actually lets us search for pattern using some wildcard characters actually. So we depend on two wildcard characters actually. One is percentile symbol and other is an underscore symbol. So these two are the wildcard characters we usually use in a select query when we are using like. Before we use any of these wildcards, just write a simple query select star from patients. We already have a query. In this, it retrieved all the data from patients table. And if we want patients who are having first name as Gigi, so what we can do is where first name equal to this one, we can write a query like this. But what happens here is it looks for the exact match of Gigi only. But my requirement is not just a full match or the exact match. I want something like my first name should start with J. That's all. So there is a pattern and J, and it can have anything. It can have one character of J after J, two characters, three characters, and those can be any characters. Okay, any number of characters and any value also. So for that, we will use one wildcard percentile. So we represent like this, and instead of equal to, we put like. Here means select star from patients where first name like J percentile. What it does is it gets all the patients whose first name is starting with J and can have anything or nothing after J. Means if at all we have a patient with J, that's all, we don't have anything. In that case, it retrieves that patient as well. If I execute that statement, you are seeing multiple records, but all the patients first name is starting with J only, right? So you have two characters Joe. Like if I put like this, and if you run this query, what happens is it checks and returns the data whose first name is starting with JO, and it can have anything later. So the record Joe should come, John should come, this one Jonathan, and Joe, all the patients whose first name starting with JO or first name might be simply Joe should be returned. Okay, if you run this, you can see all the first names are starting with JO only, and the patient with first name as Joe also returned. Got it? So this is how a wildcard character percentile works. So it matches any number of characters. Okay, zero or more characters after given value. Okay, and it's not mandatory to use this at the end only. For example, like I want patients whose first name ending with N. What I can do? Anything and N. Okay, so the end value we know this. This is one of the pattern. So pattern building you can build with percentile symbol. And if you want patients whose first name starting with anything and it should have O in that and can end with O. Okay, so in this case, you see the patient's name has O in it anywhere. You can say like that. See, because it can start with O, it can end with O, or it can have O in between. So that record will be retrieved, Ronald. So it has second character, and in this the last character is O, and it has first character as O. And if you observe this, it is not case sensitive. So if you give capital O uppercase or lowercase o, it works fine with like. Okay, so and it don't bother about the exact presence of O, where exactly the given character is there. Okay, so this is how we use the wildcard character percentile. Similar to this, we also have one more wildcard character. I'll write here. So underscore. So Percentile, what it does is it does not bother about how many number of characters are there in your pattern, in your required result. But when you want n number of characters to be matched, then you have to use n number of underscores to build that pattern. For example, you want all patients whose name start with J and can have any character after J, but only one character should be there. Got it? So if you run this, you get only Joe's records. Okay, so all the patients whose first name is Joe, because you said it should start with J and it should have only one character after that. And if you write like this one, it matches three characters, first names, and that are starting with J. You see, you don't have Joe record over here because it should have three characters now, because it has two underscores provided after J. It should start with J and should have two more characters. Got it? So if you run this, this will get all the patients whose first name has three characters and is starting with J. And you want it start with J and end with E, and in between it should have only one character. You can write this J underscore E, only Joe. Got it? And Joe underscore N, you will get John, Jin, Jen, everything. Got it? So the second character can be anything. It is a single character and two other characters, J and N, the first and last characters. This is the purpose of using underscore in like. So these are the two while characters we use. And if you want, you can negate the result also. You already remember using not, right? So not like means it will simply negate the result. Except those records, you will get all the others whose first name is not just three characters, that also starting from J and N. The rest of the records will be retrieved. And this is how you use not like. And if you have multiple conditions and you want to put like in each and other every condition, you can do that by providing and or not any other operators, right? So for example, your first name should start with J, so first name like J percentile, as well as so, and city, it should start with city like B percentile, so it should start with B. And now you will see all the patients whose first name started with J, and all those are living in city which is starting with the character B. Like this, you can use and or not operators in your select query. And for example, if you want, this is patients table actually, so we don't have any email. If at all, we already have email column also in this, so email can be Gmail, Hotmail, Outlook.com, or anything. So if you want to figure out how many patients are using, or what are those patients actually using Gmail, means you can write the column might be email. So email like percentile at the rate gmail percentile at the rate gmail.com. So it will check something at the rate gmail.com. Like that, we actually use the like operator for pattern matching actually. So just to recap, why we use like means it helps to search text patterns. Okay, and we have two wildcard characters which are percentile, it matches 0 or more characters, remember. So for example, where we have seen JO percentile retrieved JON as well as JO record also. So when you are saying percentile means it matches 0 or more characters, and underscore means exactly one character, but it does not bother what the character is, but there should be one character. And if you want to match two characters means you have to put two underscores. So n characters means n number of underscores you have to put. And you can use any other operators like and or not for advanced filtering things. Got it? So this is how we use like for pattern matchings, because pattern matching is powerful tool in SQL whenever you are writing some queries. Got it? So this is about like, and in the next video, let us discuss about joins. Hello everyone. Welcome back to our SQL tutorial series. In this video, we will discuss about one more important topic in SQL, that is SQL joins. So what joins does? Joins allows us to retrieve data from multiple tables in meaningful way. For example, if we have multiple tables in our database also, like if you see here, when you click on the SQL database and view schema, you are seeing patients, doctors, admissions, province names, and you are seeing some relation between these tables also. If you see, patient ID is mapped to patient ID in admissions, and doctor ID in doctors table is mapped to attending doctor ID in admissions table. Similarly, province ID in patients table is mapped to province ID column of province names. So multiple tables holding pieces of information, we can say. So if I want to get some admission record, if you see the admissions table, it has patient ID, admission date, discharge date, diagnosis, and attending doctor ID. We have patient ID and doctor ID in this. And if we query this, for example, see, I'm just removing everything else, and instead of patients, okay, let us keep patients also. And here admissions, if you run this query, you see some admissions. See, we have all these admissions, and if you want to query admissions of where patient ID equal to 1, got it? So this is the information about admissions of patient ID 1. But seeing this data, we can't say who is the exact patient and who is the doctor attended and what is the specialty of that doctor. The details we have seen in the doctor's table in schema, right? So now any admission information means the complete information of a particular admission is scattered across the tables, means we have in three tables: patient table, doctor table, and admissions table. So we have information in three different tables. So if we want to get those data in meaningful way means this admission date and this discharge date, and this is the diagnosis done to this patient ID. And instead of saying just patient ID, we will be retrieving what is the first name of the patient, last name of the patient, and any other details as per our requirement. Similarly, the required details from the doctor's table also will be presented along with the readable information instead of the IDs. So for that, we actually depend on the joins. And in SQL, we have multiple types of join actually. Those are inner join, left join, right join, and full join. We will see about all these in a moment. Now we already executed one query called select star from admissions where patient ID equal to 1, and we got all this data. And if you run only select star from admissions, we see we are getting the patient IDs and doctor IDs. Now what if my requirement is, I'll keep this in comment. So what if my requirement is I want to see the patient first name, patient last name as well. So now we have two tables. One is patient's table and admissions table. And patient's first name and last name are stored in patient's table, and the remaining admission details are available in admission table. So I want to retrieve two columns from one table and remaining columns from other table, and we need to join these two tables. We will depend on inner join to begin with. So inner join, what is inner join means? Inner join actually works and it retrieves the matching records in both tables. And what is matching records? We will see. So there will be some join condition, and based on that, the records which are actually matching that condition in both tables will be retrieved. We will see that by writing a SQL query using joins as well. So how to write that means select, instead of star, I'll put this portion empty for now, and I will keep table's name first. Okay, the first table name is patients, comma, second table name is admissions. Okay, or we can write using the inner join keyword also. So the first table name is from patients, inner join, and second table name we need to give here admission. So we are joining patients with admissions. So these two tables are being joined to get the required information. And what is the condition to join these tables or to get the data? Means on the patient ID from the patients table and admissions tables patient ID also. So we have patient ID in patients table as well as admissions table. So we will be getting the column and we will be checking if those are two are equal. Patients dot patient ID, patients dot patient ID equal to admissions dot patient ID. So instead of writing patients dot and admissions dot, what we can do is we can provide some alias to the table. So P is the alias for patients table, means it is a short form to refer patients table from now. And A is the alias for admissions table. So instead of patients, it works with P also now. It works with A also now. Got it? And what are the columns to be retrieved? Now from the patients table means P dot I want patient first name means first name and P dot last name. Along with this, I want from admissions table admission date, comma, A dot discharge date, comma, A dot diagnosis, comma, A dot doctor ID. From patients P inner join admissions A on patients dot patient ID means P dot patient ID equal to A dot patient ID. So in this case, we use inner join. So it returns only records that have matching values in both tables. Both tables means the one before the inner join and the one after the inner join. We usually say, if you see this inner join, this is the left part. So this is the left table and this is the right part to the join keyword. So it is the right table. Now we get the records that has matching values in both tables. So if a record has a matching value on patient ID in both tables, then that record will be retrieved. For example, patient ID, it has 1 in admissions table. So if we have a record in patients table which has patient ID 1, then first name and last name will be considered from that record and will be appended with admission date, discharge date, diagnosis from this table. Similarly, for this also it will check again patient.id. So it checked the patient ID value 1 in the patient's table and it retrieves the first name and last name if it exists there and the remaining data from here. And then it goes to the next record 3. So it checks the patient table and it will see if the patient table has record 3, a record which has patient ID 3, then first name last name will be considered from that record and will be displayed. If at all patient table does not have a patient with 3, patient ID is 3, then this data will be skipped in the result set. This entire data will be skipped. So we will see running this query so that instead of just this result, we should be seeing the first name and last name along with the admission details of A dot doctor ID. A dot admissions we have doctor ID. Attending doctor ID. So attending doctor ID is the column name. So if you run this query, now we got patient's first name, last name. So now it is readable and understandable. See, now we know, okay, this is the patient first name, last name who got admitted on this date and discharged on this date and diagnosed with this one. And this is the doctor who attended. Of course, we don't have doctor name. Similarly, we can join doctor table also. We'll see. For now, we have doctor ID displayed. And similarly, for other records also, we have all this information. And all these are the records that has matching record for this condition in both tables. Those are only returned. We can say these are the patients with an admission record included. So we have patients who has admissions. Those are included in this result set. Got it? So this is how we are using inner join. And if the patient has not admitted, maybe if they opted for outpatient record, so they does not have admission date and discharge date, so that entry will not be in the admissions. But we do have the patient record, but that record does not exist in the admissions table, so that patient information is not available in this result set. So this result set is clearly the patients who got admissions. Got it? So now we will see left join. This is also called one kind of outer join. So when condition is not met on both tables, we will go for outer joins. And in outer join, we have two kind of outer join, left join and right join. Got it? Left join means it considers, or we can say, as I told earlier, whenever you are seeing a join keyword, the left side part, this is called left table and this is called right table. And whenever I used left join instead of inner join, then what happens is it returns all the records from the left table, means the table which is available in the left side of the join keyword. So this is the left table, patients. So it returns all the records from this left table, which is patients, plus matching records from the right table. Got it? So we will be getting all the records from the patients table, irrespective of that patient has admission or not, plus the data which matched with the given condition from right table. Then you are saying, okay, for example, we have 100 records and 10 does not take 10 patients don't take admissions. Then we are saying in left join we will be getting patient records, but what about the values from right side table? Because this is the user information or patient information, donor and waterfill. So we are retrieving these two information. What about these? Because the query I did not change the value, the columns we did not change here. So what happens to these? Because we don't have that corresponding patient record in admissions, means we will get nulls in this. Got it? So we get the patient first name, last name and nulls in the admissions table because we don't have the data in the right table. Okay, so this should work in such a way so that it should get all the patients. I will run this again. In the inner join itself, p dot patient id also we will retrieve. And if you run this, we see all this, and this is sorted by default sorting, maybe first column. So it is patient id. If you see here, we don't have admission for patient id 2. How can we see it? Patient id 2 does not have admission, means this is inner join. So if it is available in both tables, that should have been returned in this result set. Now we will include the column in this also, and we will see what happens to that record with patient id 2. See, now we got the record with 2 also, who has no admission, but it has data in patient table. So we got first name, last name from the patient table, and because that does not have values in the admissions table, we got nulls. Similarly, it happened for patient record 4 as well, and it has many such records. So this is how left join works. So it gets all the records from the left table, which is patient's table. That is why we got first and last name. These are the details from left table, and nulls from the right table when the condition is not met, means those are not matching. So this is what happened. And we will see the right join. The reverse of this is right join. So we will get all the records from the right table and nulls for the left table columns. We will have all the records in the patient table. I doubt that, but we will see if we get any such. No, we got all the patients, because in the admissions table, if we have some patient id, means that id is available in the patient record, so we don't get nulls over here. But in real time, if we are working on any other column, which is available commonly in both tables, that might be missing in one of the table, then we will get the result as we expect. Okay, but it will be something in reverse to this left join result. So it should be null here, and we should get data here. Got it? So that is right join. And what full join does is it returns all the records when there is a match in either table. If there is no match, null values are shown. That's also, this is, you can say, we will be getting all the records from both tables. And because this is matching in both tables, if you see the record 1, it has data in patients as well as admissions. So we get all the data in all columns. And if at all it has no admission, then we will get like this. If at all the patient is missing, we will see nulls over here. Got it? So this is how full join works, and the keyword will be full join. And one more thing, can we join more than one table? Here we join one table to patients, which is admission. Can we use one more table? Means yes, we can get the doctor's name. We will see what actually doctors has. So doctor ID, first name, last name, and specialty. Okay, so all these values, first name, last name, specialty, also I just want to retrieve from the doctor's table. Now what I can do is, so now initially we join patients with admissions, and the condition is on this one. So patients, we inner join this one. I'm just modifying this query. So this is the patients and inner join admissions, and this is the condition. Similarly, we will inner join one more table called doctors, and give an alias like D, and the condition will be, what common column we have in these is, in admissions table we have attending doctor ID, and in the doctors table we have doctor ID. So on admissions dot attending doctor ID equal to doctors dot D dot doctor ID, and in the result, instead of attending doctor ID and A dot ID, D dot first name, comma, D dot last name, comma, D dot specialty. And now you run this, see, we got the first name, last name, specialty of the doctors as well. Now we have complete information of one particular admission. So this is the patient ID with first name and last name, admitted on this date, discharged on this date, diagnosed with this one, and attended doctor is this doctor with specialty of this. Got it? So all these are the information retrieved from 3 different tables. Got it? So this is how we can join multiple tables. Also we have one more thing, self joins. Also self joins, I don't think we can demo with this database. For example, consider some scenario like maybe in interviews also you might be expecting this. So if there is an employee table, what it has is some employee ID, right? So employee ID, first name, last name, and manager ID. Employee ID, first name, last name, and manager ID. And remember, manager is also an employee. So his or her record also available in employee table only. So this is the ID, which actually manager ID is nothing but employee ID of that manager. Got it? So I want to see first name and last name of the manager instead of manager ID, like manager name, manager first name, manager last name. Okay, which are nothing but whenever this manager ID equal to employee ID, then I want to show that first name and last name. So that is the manager's first name and last name. In that case, if you observe, the relation is established from the same table. So we can build self join in that case. It is something like treating the same table as 2 different tables and joining. So that is self join concept. So we will take employee E1 inner join, employee E2. So before and after inner join we have employee only, but alias name we gave differently, E1 and E2. And in that case, E1 dot employee ID should be equal to E2 dot manager ID, like that, or E1 dot manager ID equal to E2 dot employee ID. So we are assuming those two as different 2 tables, E1 and E2, but the table is same. So that is why that is called self join. So this is about joins in SQL. In the next video, we will discuss about some aggregate functions and group by clause. Till then, keep practicing on SQL joins because this is one of the important concept to learn. Thank you. Hello everyone. Welcome back to our SQL tutorial series. In this video, we will explore one more important concept in SQL that is called SQL aggregate functions. Okay. So aggregate functions actually allows us to perform some calculations on multiple rows of data. We will see how that works on our patients or admissions or any of the table we have. Got it. So simply saying aggregate functions, these functions perform some calculations on a group of values, we can say. So for example, if I run this query select star from patients, we see multiple data. And now I want to calculate something like what is the total number of records we have in patients table. Got it. So I just want to calculate the number of records in the patients table. For that, we have one aggregate function called count. Okay, so what it is doing is it is just calculating the number of records and it is presenting us. So instead of select star from patients, if we execute this, we are seeing here, right? 1 to 100 of 4530 results. So 4530 is the total number. So how it looks like is count of star or any column name you can give. Okay, so if you run this, see count of star, and if you want a meaningful name for the result in the result set, you can provide an column alias also as total number of patients. And if you run this now again, the total number of patients is 4530. So what it does is it simply calculated the total number of records from patients table. So this is one aggregate function example. Got it. And maybe if you want to know how many patients are actually hospitalized or admitted in the hospital. So if you remember from earlier video where we discussed the joins, the admissions information is available in admissions table. So simple count of stars or count of any column name in the total number of patients or total number of admissions from admissions. And if you run this, you will see 5067 admissions are there. Got it. So these are two examples of count function. So this is a function and this is an aggregate function. Similarly, we have few more aggregate functions. We have sum, for example. So above this, I will write one more select query, select a star from patients, just to have this total data. Got it. Now we have 4530, and if you see this data, you have height column, and we will see, we have multiple aggregate functions which are sum, min, max, and average, avg, like this. Okay, so these are the aggregate functions we actually have in SQL. So now I want to know the sum of all values from a given column. So in that case, we can use the sum, like select sum of the column name you want to calculate the sum is height from table name patients. And if you run this, you see 714747 is the total of all patients heights. Got it. So, and similarly, if you want to change the column header value, you can simply write a column alias. But now I'm just keeping like this. And if you want to find what is the minimum weight from the patient table, so I can use the min aggregate function. So if you run this, if 1 is the minimum. If you want, you can check order by weight. So it will get the data in the ascending order, right? So see, this is the weight. See, we have 3 records with that, but it doesn't bother. It will get the minimum weight from the weights column. That's all. Got it. And similarly, max weight also. Just copy this and instead of min, we put max. Got it. So this is how we use aggregate functions. And this is max weight is 142. And if you want to find average weight, you can simply do that as avg. And You run this and average weight is 76.776811 like that. Got it. So this is the simple way of using aggregate functions in SQL. Till now, we are doing this aggregation on a given column entirely. We are not making any groups. The entire table is the single group. Okay, like we just use the count function. If you say this, so it considered the entire table as single group and given the total number of patients from the patient table. Now, if you remember the patient's data by running select star from patients, we see we have gender column in which we have M and F values. Now I want how many male patients are there and how many female patients are there in the patients table. For that, we can group the data by gender and get the count. Earlier we got all the patients. Now I want this count by gender column. Got it? Gender comma count of gender. Star you can give, but habituate to provide the column name whatever you are grouping with. So from patients, and you want to include group by clause here, and based on gender we are grouping the data. So earlier all the records are of same group. Now we are asking, okay, take the data from the table and make it into two groups, and the grouping should be based on gender. I mean, not two groups, the based on the gender make the groups. Groups means the distinct values, whatever all the males. So all the records having one value becomes one group. If we have second value, that is second group, third value, third group, fourth value, fourth group. So based on gender we are grouping, and that gender is displayed, means here M or F will be displayed and count will be displayed grouped by gender. And if you run this now, see, gender is F, count is 2062 and M 2468. This is how we will group the we will write the group by. And similarly, if our requirement is, if you see the patient's data again by running this query, now someone asked us to get how many patients are residing in each city. I want to get the number of patients in each city. Got it. So instead of by gender, I copy this, paste city, count of city, and patients group by city. And if you see this, see now we have all the cities. So now the value of city is one group. All the records which are having one city becomes one group. So in this city we have 12. In this city we have 117. And if you want, you can order by also again. Group by city and order by, which should be followed by group by statement. So total number of patients, we will be ordering by total number of patients, so we will get in the ascending order. See, 111. In these three cities we have single patient. In these cities, all these cities we have 2 patients, 3 patients, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 patients, we don't have 12, like that. So this is how you can club group by and order by. And now what if I want to put a condition like I want city and number of patients in that city, but I want only the data where at least 10 patients are there in that city. So the condition is the total number of patients should be greater than or equal to 10. Okay, because I am okay even with 10 patients. So what we can do, shall we put where means it is not recommended or it is not the right way. So whenever you are using group by, you should have having clause. Okay, so group by city and having patients, total number of patients is greater than or equal to 12 10, and order by total number of patients. So we are writing a keyword called having to provide one condition in a query where we used group by. And now if you observe the result set, you don't have any city which has patients less than 10, number of patients less than 10. Earlier we saw one patient, two patient, three patients are there in multiple cities. Like right? So this is how we use aggregate functions, group by and order by, and having usage of having in the group by. So yeah, that's all I think for aggregate functions. So with this we completed almost all required things to write select queries at least. So you should be able to write any select query and to retrieve any kind of data, whatever your requirement is. Okay, so if you want to get all the data with all columns, select simply you write select star from table name. If you want only some columns, you can list the column names instead of star. And if you want to filter on data, rows, you can write where condition, and you can use and or like in between all those. And you can join different tables using different types of joins, and you can use aggregate functions whenever you have some calculations to be done. And you can use group by clause whenever you want your aggregate functions to be worked on multiple groups. Okay, so with this we are done with this tutorial series, because I concentrated mostly on retrieving the data from databases. If at all in future we like to extend with other queries as well, like delete statement and update, create, all other DDL and DML statements also, then we'll discuss about. But the main intention of this series is like learn how to retrieve data from SQL databases. Okay, so thank you for watching all the videos. Hope you enjoyed all these. Thank you.